My name is Paige, and I'm 28 years old. I currently live with my husband, Toru. Toru works hard every day and brings in a lot of money for us, but I also have a full-time job. That's why we're able to live quite comfortably. I've never been married before, but Toru has gone through a divorce before. And the reason I'm still working is because Toru has to pay child support for his 2 kids that he had with his previous wife. His wife has told him that she's not going to let him see his daughters ever again if he skips out on any of the payments. So he's kind of obligated to keep on paying her every month. And so for us to make ends meet, we both have to keep on bringing in money. I'm home. Oh, hey, Toru. I didn't think you'd be back yet. I'll make dinner for you right away, so sit tight.
Welcome home. And don't worry about dinner. I already made something for both of us.
Wait, really? Wow, thanks, honey. You're the best.
Don't mention it. And Paige, thank you for everything. No, that's not right. I guess I should apologize to you first. Paying child support for my daughters is a burden that I should have to bear by myself. But you're out here helping me out every day, and I feel terrible about making you go through all this.
What are you talking about? There's no need for you to apologize. And besides, I married you because I love you. When we first met, you looked like you were about to die of malnutrition and exhaustion. I don't want to see you go through that again. So please, let me help you.
But
And sure, I don't really like the fact that you have to pay your ex-wife in order to see your kids. I mean, by the sound of it, she's a terrible person, and she doesn't deserve a single cent from you. And like you said, because she's a very irresponsible person and doesn't know how to properly handle her finances, she's using the money you've been sending her on stuff she doesn't really need. She's not even using it for her kids, right?
Well, I can't say for certain that that's the case, but I think so.
This is Toru's ex-wife, and her name is Emma. Emma was born into a very rich family, and there's nothing she loves more in this world than money. And using her immense wealth, she hired one of the best lawyers in the country in her court case against Toru. And that's how she ended up with custody over her 2 kids. And she also demanded that Toru to pay her child support every month if he wanted to keep on seeing them. Oh yeah, and she also created the reason for their divorce. As I said earlier, she spends her money very irresponsibly. And that's why one day, Toru tried taking over the family finances and making sure that all of their needs were properly met. Emma then quickly got bored of not being able to spend her money freely and decided to throw her husband out. And Toru, being the kind man that he is, blamed himself for the divorce and agreed to pay his 2 daughters child support every month. I feel like he should have stood his ground more and tried to get a better deal out of her. But this is what makes him so lovable. As you can see, Toru is a kind man that hates conflict. And that's part of why I love him so much. And because I love him, I really don't care about the fact that we can't spend our money that freely. The money isn't important to me at this point. All I need is for Toru to be by my side. That's all I care about. But one day, Toru left the house to go visit his 2 daughters, but when he got back, welcome back. Wait, what? I walked over to the entrance to greet my husband, but that's when I saw his 2 daughters standing behind him.
Paige, I'm really sorry, but I can't just abandon my daughters. I love them, and I have to take care of them. I didn't want to burden you even further, so I was afraid of bringing this up with you, but I'm just worried about these 2, you know?
Now that I think about it, Toru's been trying to tell me something lately. I guess this was it. And so I invited the 2 of them into the house and asked Toru for an explanation. But that's when he revealed the shocking truth to me.
A couple of weeks ago, Emma told me that she was gonna get remarried to someone and that she wanted me to take custody of our kids because she thought they were going to get in her way.
What? That's insane! She used her children to squeeze money out of her ex-husband, and now she's trying to get rid of them because she's getting remarried? What kind of sick joke is that?
I'm really sorry about this, Paige, but I want to take over custody of these 2. I know what you're gonna say. I've already asked a lot out of you, and I know this isn't fair to you at all, but my ex-wife and I have hurt these 2 enough, and I don't want to leave them with someone who won't care for them and love them properly. I doubt you're gonna accept this arrangement, but...
Are you kidding? Of course we can welcome your kids into our family.
What?
That's when I noticed that the 2 kids were staring at us and listening in on our conversation through a small crack in the door. And so, I invited the 2 into the room and said, "You want to take over their custody, right? Well, I think that's a great idea." Yumi and Mommy hesitated at first, but after a few minutes, they walked over to where I was.
Wait, are you sure about this, honey?
Of course I am. And besides, these are your kids, right? They're adorable. I can't just send them back to their unloving mother. And so, I held Yumi and Mommy tightly.
Paige, thank you.
You always blame yourself for everything, but you have to understand, not everything is your fault. But anyway, Yumi, Mommy, my name is Paige. It's nice to finally meet you guys. And welcome to our home. The two seemed nervous and didn't say anything at first, but after a while, Yumi introduced herself.
My name is Yumi. Nice to meet you. Come on, Mommy. You should introduce yourself too. Okay. My name is Mommy.
And so, from that day on, Toru, Yumi, Mommy, and I started living under the same roof together as a family. I started working less hours, so I could spend more time with my new daughters, and tried my best to look after them when they were home. They seemed very mature and reserved for their age, which makes sense because I don't think Emma took good care of them when she was still their mother. That's why they had to grow up and practically raise themselves. And for the first few weeks, they refused to open up to me and kept themselves entertained most of the time. But I was still very impressed by how mature the two of them were, especially Yumi. One day, when she was watching TV, she whispered to herself,
Yeah, the adults don't even know what they're doing. She definitely knows what she's talking about, doesn't she?
Mommy is a bit more reserved than Yumi, and she always stands behind her older sister, seeking her protection. And whenever I try to start a conversation with her, she apologized quickly and runs away from me. I guess she doesn't trust the adults. But every time they did something that exemplified their distrust for adults, I gave them a big hug to comfort them. It took some time, but eventually they opened up to me and started smiling in front of me. And, on a few occasions, we slept in the same bed together when one of them was having trouble sleeping. They almost looked like angels to me. It took me a while to get out of bed because I spent hours staring at their adorable little faces. I'm gonna do everything I can to protect them. I'm gonna be their mother from now on. But one day, my phone rang when I was on my way to pick up my daughters from preschool. Huh? I'm getting a call from their preschool. I wonder what this is about. But when I heard what was going on, I fell to my knees in shock. Apparently, Yumi and Mommy had disappeared and were nowhere to be seen. They ran off while the teachers were busy looking after the other kids. The staff repeatedly apologized to me, but that's not important right now. What's important is finding Yumi and Mommy before they get themselves into some trouble. And so, I immediately called Toru, who was still at work, and ran around the neighborhood with the teachers to look for my daughters. Toru left work early to look for them as well, but they were nowhere to be found. Where the hell have they gone? I was about to contact the police when Toru called me and informed me that he had found the two. Apparently, they managed to find their way back home on their own. I immediately returned back home and said this to them. What the hell were you guys thinking? Do you know how worried I was? I thought you guys might have been gotten kidnapped and... Yumi and Mommy looked embarrassed and sad. Mommy also had a Band-Aid on her knee. Wait, what is that for? Did you get hurt, Mommy?
Apparently, she tripped on her way home. I already disinfected the scratch. It's nothing to worry about.
Okay. But guys, come on. You can't just walk off on your own like that. Where were you guys?
I can't see.
What? Why not?
This is all Mommy's fault. We would have made it if you hadn't tripped and injured your knee. I'm sorry, Yumi.
Wait. Whoa. What are you guys talking about? Made it where?
I already told you that I can't tell you that. And besides, this is none of your business, Paige. Please leave us alone.
None of my business? I felt like they were telling me that I wasn't important to them, and tears started flowing down my face.
Yumi! What the hell is wrong with you? Why would you say that to her?
And the next day, one of Yumi and Mommy's teachers told me that before they disappeared, they had asked her how they can get to the house they used to live in. And apparently, they were preparing a gift for Emma for Mother's Day as well. Oh, wait a minute. So they disappeared because they were trying to find their mother? Is that what you're telling me? So, do they not consider me as their mother? Well, they've never called me mom before, so I guess I was being a bit too full of myself, thinking that I could be their new mother for them. God, this is all a bit hurtful. But one weekend, Toru, Yumi, and Mommy headed out to go on a small trip as a group. Apparently, there was something Yumi and Mommy wanted to talk about with their father. Are they going to be asked to be sent back to their real mother? If that's what they want, then the responsible thing to do is make their wish come true, right? And today is Mother's Day after all. But that's when I heard the bell ring. Someone's at the front door. And when I looked through the Ring camera, I saw a woman I didn't recognize standing at our front door. Sorry to show up unannounced. My name is Emma. What? So this is Toru's ex-wife, huh? I headed to the front door and opened the door slowly with the chain still on. Hey, are you Toru's current wife? You need to get my daughters back to me. Excuse me? My mother and my husband had a huge fight, and I had to go through a divorce again. Isn't that ridiculous? I tried to cut ties with my mother before things escalated, but it was already too late. My husband wants nothing to do with me or my family now. And after the divorce was finalized, I tried to support myself, but it didn't work out. I'm not the kind of person that likes having a job and having a 9 to 5, you know? But anyway, I want my mother to look after me. But she told me that in order for her to invite me back into her home again, I was gonna have to get my 2 daughters to come with me. So that's why I need those 2 back from you guys. Is she being for real right now? This has to be some kind of joke. What the hell is wrong with you? Your daughters are living human beings, you know? You can't just use them for your own personal gain like this. Huh? Who do you think you are? You're not their actual mother, so this is none of your business. You wouldn't understand this because you don't have a kid yet. But kids have a strong attachment to their birth mothers. I'm sure they'd be happier living with me. I didn't want to admit it, but Emma might be right. Those 2 were trying to get back to their mother's place when they disappeared. And besides, I'm not their real mother, so do I even get a say in this? But anyway, I'm gonna come in and take my daughters back from you now! And that's when Emma put her feet between the wall and the door and tried to take the chain off the lock. I resisted and tried shutting the door, but Emma grabbed my hair and said this. Why are you getting in my way? Those are my kids! You have no right to keep them from me. Ow, let go of me! Emma and I continued to struggle with nothing but the door between us. But that's when...
Hey, what do you think you're doing? Let go of her!
Huh? I heard Toru's voice coming from behind the door. When I took a peek out the window, I saw my husband standing next to Emma, who was now on the ground. It sounded like he was calling the cops. I guess he pulled her away from me before I got hurt. What the hell do you think? Wait a minute. Yumi? Mommy? There you guys are. Emma ran over to her daughters and gave them a huge hug. Good news, guys. We're gonna move into Grandma's house together. We can live together again. Are you excited? Wow. Yumi and Mommy look exactly like their mother. Well, that shouldn't really be a surprise, though. After all, they're her daughters. I got really sad thinking about how I wasn't related to either of them, and my head started to tilt downwards. But that was when Yumi and Mommy pushed Emma onto the ground.
You're not our mother! Paige is our mother!
Huh? What?
We might still be kids, but we know what you're trying to do. You're trying to use us to get money again, aren't you?
But...
I didn't know about that until Yumi told me about it, but whatever your plans may be, I still prefer living with Paige. She really loves us and cares about us.
Yumi. Mommy. What the hell is wrong with you guys? I am your mother. You guys wouldn't be here without me. The least you could do is listen to me. Emma quickly stood up and started yelling at her daughters. She grabbed what she could and started throwing them at Yumi and Mommy as well. But that was when the police arrived at the scene. One of them grabbed Emma's arms behind her back. Whoa! What are you guys doing? Where are you taking me? Stop! Why are you doing this to me? And so the cops swiftly took Emma away. I immediately ran out the door and hugged Yumi and Mommy as hard as I could. Yumi, Mommy.
Paige, we're really sorry for making you worry that day. You know, when we left the preschool without telling anyone, I said some terrible things to you even though I didn't mean them. I just didn't want you to find out about what we were gonna do for you today.
That was when Toru handed a beautiful bouquet of flowers from Yumi and Mommy, who then offered it to me. Wait, what is this for?
We wanted to surprise you, so we had to keep everything a secret. There's a flower shop right next to the apartment we used to live in, and we're good friends with the shop's owner. We thought they might be able to give us some flowers for the bouquet. We don't have any money, so we had no choice but to go to that flower shop. Yeah, and because you always stayed by our side when we were home, the only way we were going to get these flowers without you finding out was to sneak out of preschool. But we decided to ask Dad for help, and we borrowed money from him so we could buy these flowers for you.
And then, Yumi and Mommy said this in unison.
Thank you for everything, Mom!
I couldn't stop crying after hearing that. These two are the most beautiful girls in the world, and I am so proud to be their mother. Afterwards, Emma failed to get back on good terms with her mother and ended up having to borrow money from the Yakuza to make ends meet. Now she's working a dangerous job in a foreign country to get out of debt. Meanwhile, our family has been doing very well. We recently welcomed a new member to our family, and Yumi and Mommy welcomed the birth of our child with open arms. They're absolutely obsessed with their new sister, and even after 20 years, they're still very close with one another.
Hey, we're home, Mom! Long time no see.
Hey guys, welcome back. You guys want some pudding?
Pudding? Yes! You know how my kids love pudding, right? So whenever I buy some for myself, they end up eating it all. I haven't had pudding in months. Your kids love to eat, don't they? My daughter only eats tiny portions of food, so I'm kind of worried about her. But one thing I've noticed is that we all have the same taste in food. We all seem to like the same stuff, you know? Yeah, you can say that again. I mean, we all love dishes with egg in it, don't we? We do. The more time we spent with Mom, the more alike we became.
Well, I guess that just means that you guys are my daughters now. They look exactly like I do now, which is strange. But I guess that proves that people don't need to be related by blood for them to be a proper, loving family. I'm just really happy to have these two as my daughters.
I'm Paige, 30 years old. My life is filled with happiness now, but getting here was quite a journey. To share my story, I need to take you back to when I was a 5-year-old in kindergarten. George, what's wrong? Are you crying again? George was this boy who'd always end up crying whenever I saw him at the park, so I'd comfort him every time.
Yeah, I just want them to get along.
There, it's okay. You're such a good boy. I was only a child back then, and I really wanted a little brother or sister, so I thought of myself as George's big sister. But before long, his parents got divorced, and George ended up moving overseas with his mom. That's when we started writing letters to each other. Later, when we got iPhones, we switched to texting and sharing photos. I even sent George a message on my first day of high school, sitting in the classroom. I got into this famous private school on scholarship, so none of my middle school friends are here. I was worried I wouldn't make any friends, but now I have plans with my friends every day, and it's been so much fun. I hesitated a little before hitting send. Why? Because it was all a lie. I couldn't let George, who looked up to me as his dependable big sister, see how uncool I really was. Hey, Paige, you're ruining the vibe in here. Get out! That was Heather. Her dad was the CEO of a big company, and she seemed to love tormenting me, the only one in class from an ordinary family. She was the absolute worst. Heather did all kinds of awful things to me, things I can't even bring myself to talk about here. A few classmates had tried to stand up for me before, saying things like, "Stop it, Paige doesn't deserve this." But whenever they did, Heather would just turn her bullying on them instead. You know those people who, despite being terrible, somehow end up at the center of every social circle? That was Heather. Nobody could go against her, not even the teachers. Reporting her would only make things worse. Of course, my mom, Penny, noticed something was wrong. One day she said, "Paige, you've seemed a little off lately. Is something going on?" Huh? Did something happen at school? You've worked so hard to get into that high school to give us both a better future. Is it tough being around all those rich kids with such different values? My mom, Penny, worked herself to exhaustion every day just to support me. There was no way I could make her worry even more. "No, I'm just a little tired. Don't worry about me," I said with a forced smile, but Heather's bullying kept escalating. It got so bad that I started having stomach aches every morning before school, probably from all the stress. I was at my breaking point. One day my mom said to me, "Paige, is someone at school treating you badly?" No, that's not... You've always been the type to put others before yourself. Remember that boy at the park, George, wasn't it? I still recall when you scraped your knee there. You looked like you were about to cry, but as soon as George came over sobbing, you held back your own tears to comfort him. You gently patted his head and told him everything would be okay, even though your knee must have been hurting so much. Did I really do that? It's okay if you want to quit school, you know. What? After that, my mom took time off work just to sit down and talk with me about what I wanted to do. At first, I kept saying I wouldn't quit school because I didn't want to cause trouble to her after everything she was already doing for me. But then she said, I don't care if you get into a great company or anything like that. I just want you to be happy, Paige. That's all that matters to me. Hearing those words, it felt like a tightly wound string inside me finally snapped. I cried into her arms for what felt like hours. Afterward, I finally made the decision to quit school, and from that day on, I never went back. Not long after, Heather sent a message in the school group chat with a link to a social media post. Curious, I clicked on it, only to find it said, "If you're glad that loser's gone from school, hit like, LOL." I was already so emotionally drained that even telling my mom, Penny, about Heather's bullying had felt like too much. I hadn't shared any of the details with her until then, but seeing that post filled me with so much anger that I couldn't hold back anymore. I showed it to my mom right away and told her everything Heather had done to me. Penny was absolutely furious. She immediately went to the school to confront them, but their response was, "Bullying? That couldn't possibly happen here." It was obvious what was really going on. Heather's father had likely been donating a large amount of money to the school to cover up the truth. Refusing to let it slide, Penny went to Heather's house next. But when she confronted Heather's father, he smirked and said,
"Oh, Heather's bullying someone at school? Where's your proof? You don't have any, do you? Aw, I see what this is. You're upset because we're wealthy, so you made up some nonsense to try to get money from us. How much do you want? Go ahead, name your price. Consider it charity."
It was clear there was no reasoning with him, so Penny had no choice but to leave. By this point, my mental health had completely fallen apart. I became distrustful of everyone and even started feeling afraid to leave the house. I started isolating myself in my room, living a life where I would just mess around on the computer or watch TV in a cluttered space. But Penny never blamed me for any of it. One day I fell asleep while watching videos on my phone. I vaguely heard Penny's voice. "Paige, dinner's ready." "Oh, wait, you're asleep. Oh, I'm sorry for messing with your phone without asking, but I'll turn it off for you, okay?" "I'm sorry. I've been pushing you too hard for my own sake. It's all my fault." Although my mind was foggy from half sleep, I clearly remember hearing those words. I believe it was real. Before I knew it, I was nearing 30. And one day I received a text from George saying he was going to take over his father's company and was coming back to Japan. I thought, I'll get to see George again. But I couldn't let him see me like this. I hadn't told him that I had dropped out of school and was unemployed. Still, I longed to meet him again, but I knew I needed something to give me confidence before I could get the courage to see him. That's when I had the idea to try live streaming. I thought maybe, just maybe, I could do it even though I was a recluse. But as I started looking into it, I came across something awful. When I opened a streaming site and saw a woman interacting with a lot of viewers, I immediately recognized her face. It was Heather. Her profile said, "I want to meet a darling I can be in love with forever." And then she started saying the most horrible things. "You know, bullying at school, there's usually a reason for it, right? I had someone like that at my high school too. Their mother came in yelling at the school. It was so scary, right? I wonder why they can't just talk calmly." Honestly, I thought with a parent like that, no wonder the kid had a personality that made them a target for bullying. Some comments were pushing back, but most of the viewers were agreeing with her. I couldn't believe it. And then, just as I was about to lose it, "Paige, can I talk to you for a second?" When the door opened, I was completely stunned because George was standing right there next to my mom, Penny. I didn't want George to see me like this, in this messy, self-destructive state. I instinctively tried to slam the door shut, but then George grabbed my arm.
"Wait!"
He held on to me tightly, and with tears in his eyes, he gently patted my head and whispered,
It's okay. I heard everything from Penny. It must have been so hard for you. I'm sorry I couldn't do anything for you, Paige."
George said, gently stroking my head. I couldn't hold back my tears anymore, and they started streaming down my face. When you were asleep with your phone playing videos, I tried to turn it off, but that's when I saw a text from George. After that, we started to text each other, and George said he wanted to help you. He even asked his father to let him take over as CEO sooner than planned, even though he was supposed to stay abroad for a few more years. Wait, what?
Well, there's a huge twist. Don't worry. Leave it to me,
George said, and then he shared some incredibly good news with me. A few months later, George had done something amazing. He'd managed to get Heather to eat her words.
As I mentioned at the party the other day, I was so surprised to find out the new CEO was so young and handsome, and today, I brought along the daughter who's also at the party.
Hi, I'm Heather.
My daughter fell in love with you, new CEO, at first sight.
Oh no, Dad, you're embarrassing me.
I spoke to the former CEO about setting up an arranged marriage between my daughter and his son. He kept refusing because you were abroad, but now that you're in Japan, it's a different story. Our company has been struggling lately, but we managed to hold on because of the former CEO's contract with us. If you marry Heather, our company will be safe. What do you think? My daughter's beautiful, isn't she? Let's start by exchanging contact info.
This is a joke, right?
Huh?
There's no way I'm exchanging contact information with someone who bullied someone into dropping out of high school. I can't even imagine it.
What are you talking about?
And as for the contract with your company, once the current project is finished, it'll be terminated.
What? How?
I believe work is based on trust between people. I can't trust someone who treats others terribly and acts like it doesn't matter. My parents had a really bad relationship and eventually got divorced. But Paige always encouraged me, saying, "Don't worry, George. If you speak honestly with your parents, they'll understand. And one day, you'll all be able to have dinner together again." She really helped me through everything.
Paige? Wait, how do you know Paige?
Well, isn't that quite the twist? Anyway, let me introduce you. This is my fiancée, Paige.
Fiancé? At that moment, George opened the door to the room next to them, and I stepped out in front of Heather and her father. After months of George supporting me, I had finally begun to leave the house again. That day, the surprise George had for me was his proposal. I was stunned at first, but I had always loved George, so I happily said yes. It's been a while, Heather. What are you doing here? How dare you, Paige? Why are you engaged to George? Heather tried to attack me, but...
Stop it!
Her father grabbed her by the head and forced her to bow to both George and me.
I deeply apologize for what happened before. Please don't cancel the contract. If you do, our company will go under. Come on, Heather, bow your head!
I don't want to bow to Paige.
Shut up! It's your fault the contract's getting canceled. What are you going to do about it?
At that point, Heather and her father started arguing loudly. I had to ask the secretary to step in and take them away. But a month later... Paige, please, tell George to get the contract with my dad's company back. Heather showed up at my house crying. I didn't open the door, but I could see her through the doorbell camera. After that, my dad kicked me out of the house. I tried to make money by streaming, but some of the people I defended back in my high school found out that I was streaming and started spreading my past online. I've been getting nothing but hate messages and comments. It's been so tough mentally. I can't even think about streaming anymore. I've never worked a day in my life, and now I just want to go home. Please help me. Heather looked completely desperate. It was causing a disturbance in the neighborhood, so without hesitation, I called the police. Eventually, the officers came and took the crying Heather away. After that, it seems that Heather ended up turning to loan sharks. She had always relied on her father's money, and since she didn't work and had no interest in working, regular financial institutions wouldn't lend her money. In the end, she got a factory job through a connection from the loan sharks, working around the clock. She's been getting scolded constantly for being so bad at the job, and it seems like she's really struggling. By the way, Heather's father's company went bankrupt, and after his wife left him, he's now living alone under a bridge in a cardboard box. Around the same time, the principal of the private high school I attended was caught embezzling. It became a huge news story. The teachers who had told Penny there was no bullying at our school even took part in a press conference, but their comments were so awful that they were blasted online. It looks like they've been abandoned by their families and friends, and things aren't going well for them. Honestly, seeing the people who tormented me back then fall one by one gave me a sense of relief. As for me, I ended up happily tying the knot with George, and now I'm the wife of a CEO. The three of us, George, my mom, Penny, and I, are living happily together in a big house. Oh, and just the other day, we went for a walk in the park.
Paige, you've really gotten comfortable being outside again, haven't you?
Yeah, it's all thanks to you two. I'm happy now because of everything you've done for me.
What are you saying, Paige? If anything, you're the one who gave us happiness first.
Huh?
My parents may have divorced, but now they actually get along. That's all because you gave me the courage to talk to them, to share how I felt. You're the one who gave me the happiness I have now.
I feel the same way, Paige. You worked so hard to get into that private high school on a scholarship, didn't you? And even before that, you came into my life. That's the greatest happiness you've ever given me. George, Penny, thank you. I love you both so much.
My name is Paige, and I'm a 35-year-old security guard. There aren't a lot of women in this industry, so sometimes it feels lonely being in this position, but I still try my best regardless. I'm actually not a full-time employee at my company, though, and work as a security guard part-time. But I worked hard the first couple of months to pass a security guard exam, and now I'm skilled enough to be able to handle my own shifts. So I don't really care how other people see me. I'm just going to focus on doing my job the best I can. But recently, my boss, Mr. Yagamashi, has been getting on my nerves a lot.
I can't believe I'm working the same shift as you again. You know how stressful it is to work alongside a woman? I mean, people like you shouldn't even be in this industry. I have no idea why my company decided to hire you. And besides, you're not even a full-time employee at our company, right? You're a part-timer, aren't you?
Well, yes. When I applied to the company, I had the option of applying to a full-time or part-time position, and
you ended up choosing the latter because you knew that they would never hire you for a full-time position, right?
Well, no. There were other reasons that I...
Whatever. I don't want to hear your excuses. But that means that you could quit this job at any moment without having to face any repercussions, right? God, I'm so jealous of you guys. You guys are allowed to quit your jobs when you get married. That sounds so nice. I wish I was a woman, too.
What? That's ridiculous! I'm not planning on quitting this job for a very long time. And besides, I have things I want to do in the future, and...
Yeah, whatever you say. But just don't get in our way, alright?
Okay, I'll try my best. Mr. Yagamashi has been a security guard for more than 30 years, and because he's a very traditional person, he doesn't like women becoming security guards. And since he has a close relationship with the higher-ups of the company, he tried getting me fired one time, but... His boss told him that he was going to give me 6 months before he did anything with me. So I guess that's part of why he despises me, but that's fine. I can't let that bother me too much, can I? And at least for today, I'm going to forget about what Mr. Yagamashi said to me, because I'm going out with my friends later to have a drink with them. Time to have some fun.
So, how are things going for you, Paige? Did you get used to being a security guard?
Rinka, I think we should talk about something else. You can clearly tell from her face that things aren't going that well for her.
You're right. She looks a bit depressed, doesn't she? Sorry for bringing it up, Paige.
No worries. But is it that obvious? I guess you guys can see right through me.
Yeah, it's not hard to tell how you're feeling. But what's bothering you so much? Did you have a fight with your boss or something?
Well, not yet, but...
Not yet? So, are you planning on fighting him in the near future? You always look so innocent, but when you get angry, you can get out of control, so you're the last person I want to piss off.
Oh, come on, you guys are exaggerating. And besides, I'm not planning on fighting anyone. I just want to work peacefully and not cause any trouble for anyone, alright?
But things aren't going well for you so far at your new company, right? So what's been going on? Come on, you should tell us.
Well, you're right. Things haven't been going well for me so far, but I'm sure everything's going to be fine. I just have to get through the first couple of months, and everything will go smoothly from there. Maki, Rinka, and I spent the next few hours talking about our lives and future plans. God, that was so much fun! I don't really care about what Mr. Yagamashi said to me earlier today anymore. I should hang out with my friends more. But the next day, when I clocked in for my shift, I saw Mr. Yagamashi waiting for me at the entrance of the building. Apparently, we're going to be working the same shift together for the next 5 days. Well, this is just great. Why did I have to be paired up with this asshole?
This is the worst week ever. That's probably what you're thinking right now. Don't worry, I feel the same exact way. But anyway, there's something I've been meaning to ask you. Do you seriously consider yourself a competent security guard?
What? What do you mean? I think I'm doing my job properly, so I guess if I had to answer that question, the answer would be yes.
This is why people like you shouldn't be security guards. All you're doing is just standing there doing nothing.
What? But I...
No buts! You have to be alert and pay attention to your surroundings at all times. You're not going to be able to respond to an emergency properly if you just keep on standing there doing nothing. Come on, look around, be alert, and stop being such a dork.
Yes, sir? I feel like I'm doing my job properly, just like everyone else. Why does he feel the need to constantly pick on me? Did I do something to piss him off? God, this is all so annoying. And it's not like Mr. Yagamashi is a perfect security guard either. He's in his 60s already, so I bet he'll trip and fall on his face instantly if he's ever had to chase a suspect down. And so, as he kept on bossing me around, I grew more and more frustrated with the way Mr. Yagamashi was treating me. Sure, he might have more experience than me, but if he tries picking on me again, I'm going to stand up for myself. But one day...
Paige, there's been an emergency! Apparently, there's someone with a bat running around on the 10th floor, threatening to hurt people!
What? Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure. But if he's alone, I think I'll be able to handle him by myself. You wait here, alright? You're just gonna end up getting in my way. So I'll handle this on my own.
But on the employee manual, it says that we're supposed to handle the situation together and call for backup. So I think I should come with you.
Shut up! Like I said, you're just gonna end up getting in my way. So I'm going to go up there by myself. Don't worry. I've done this a million times before. Unlike you, I'm a competent security guard. There's no need for you to worry about me. So just stay here and wait for me to kick that guy out. You better not follow me, alright? Just stay out here and guard the entrance. I'll be back in a bit.
Oh, come on. Does he seriously think he can handle this situation all by himself? I really think I should go with him. But Mr. Yagamashi wasn't willing to hear me out, and he immediately ran up the stairs to the 10th floor. I thought about following the manual and chasing after him, but he clearly instructed me to stay here, so I don't want to get on his nerves by disobeying him. And besides, the suspect is acting alone, and even though he has a bat, Mr. Yagamashi has been a security guard for more than 30 years. If anyone knows how to handle this situation, it's him. And so, for the time being, I stayed alert and made sure that I could run up the stairs if Mr. Yagamashi needed any help from me. But that's when I heard Mr. Yagamashi calling for help through the walkie-talkie.
Hey, can you come up here and help me out? The suspect is huge and I don't think I can take him down on my own. Please? You need to hurry.
Okay, I'll head up there right away.
But anyway, what the hell is wrong with you? Why didn't you come with me, huh? It clearly says on the employee manual that we're supposed to handle these kinds of situations as a pair. This is why I hate working with women. They're all so dumb and useless.
What? You're kidding me, right? You told me you didn't want me to come up with you, though. God, why is he acting like this when he's asking me for help? I didn't have the strength to fight back, though, and I knew this was an emergency, so I immediately ran to the stairs and headed up to the 10th floor. But this might be a good opportunity to prove him wrong. Not all women are useless, you know. He thinks that only men are qualified to become security guards, but that's a big load of BS, and I'm going to prove it to him. I'm going to make him regret making fun of me. Just you wait, you bastard. I'm going to show you what hell is. And so when I arrived at the 10th floor, I saw a massive man who was over 6 feet tall, swinging around a bat that had nails coming out of it. All of the workers that were on the 10th floor were hiding under their desk from Negan, waiting for the situation to get resolved. And as soon as Mr. Yagamashi saw me entering through the staircase, he said this to me.
What took you so long, huh? God, you women have no sense of responsibility. But anyway, you're gonna have to distract that guy while I sneak up behind him to catch him. But if you can catch him yourself. That works too.
What? So do you want me to distract him, or do you want me to capture him? Which is it, huh?
Well, I don't think... Here, I'll let you capture him this time around. This is your opportunity to prove yourself. Use it wisely.
What is this guy talking about? If he's afraid of going near that guy, then he should just say so. But we're in the middle of an emergency right now, so we don't have time to argue against each other. I guess I'm just gonna have to capture this guy by myself. Alright then, I'll do my best. But that's when the guy with the bat grew impatient and started yelling at us.
Hey, what the hell are you two rambling about? Get over here!
And that's when Mr. Yagamashi let out a shriek and said this.
No! Please forgive us! Please don't hurt us!
He was on the verge of tears. He also started taking a few steps back. It was clear that he was trying to run away. Whoa! Where are you going, sir? We have to protect these people. They're relying on us to capture this guy. Come on, you can't run away.
Shut up! You're on your own! Besides, I'm your boss, so you have no right to tell me what I can and can't do! Now good luck capturing that guy on your own!
Whoa! Come back here, sir. I can't believe he actually ran away. He's such a coward.
Is that supposed to be your boss? What a loser. But anyway, now that you're the only one here, I guess I'm not gonna need this bat anymore. You look pretty weak, so I bet I can beat you with one hand.
Well, I like your confidence, but you're gonna regret not using your bat, you know? You still have time to pick it back up.
What? Who the hell do you think you are, bitch? Do you even realize what kind of situation you're in right now?
Oh, of course I do. But let me give you a little piece of advice. I don't think you should underestimate me. It's not very smart to do so. But anyway, I'm not going to go easy on you.
What did you just say to me? You bastard! I'm gonna kill you!
Let's see. His body is massive, but he doesn't have a lot of muscles on it. His legs are fat, so he's very slow, and it doesn't look like he has a lot of fighting experience either. Does he seriously think he can beat me? God, I hate when people underestimate me like this. It's so insulting. Whatever, time to handle business. All right, come on, do your worst.
Take this, you bastard!
The man tried to hit me with his bat, but... Hyah! I grabbed his arms and threw him onto the floor. It only took a second for me to capture the guy.
What the hell just happened? Are you really a woman? You're unbelievably strong.
That's rude. Of course I'm a woman. If you're gonna keep on insulting me like that, I'm gonna do this to your arm.
Ow! Please, enough of that! I'm sorry, alright?
You should never judge a book by its cover, alright?
What the hell? Who are you?
Me? I'm just a part-time security guard.
Damn it.
Oh yeah, I've already contacted the cops, so you're gonna have to talk to them about why you did all this, alright?
I can't believe this is happening right now.
Did you see that? That was impressive, right? I've always liked doing that to people. It's quite satisfying, to be honest with you. Why am I this strong? Well, that's because I used to be the best judo athlete in the country. Capturing people like him isn't that challenging for me. And as the workers slowly came out from under their desk, they saw that I was holding the suspect down steadily. They all started clapping and thanking me for protecting them. And when Mr. Yagamashi came back with the police by his side, he said this to me.
Wait, you're kidding me, right? Did you actually capture that guy all by yourself?
Well, yes. That's what you told me to do, right?
You're lying. There's no way you were able to do that on your own.
Huh? Well, I just did, though. I don't know why you find that so hard to believe. But anyway, what the hell were you thinking, sir? Why did you abandon all these people? Your job is to protect them, you know.
What are you talking about? I didn't abandon anyone, and I didn't run. I just thought it would be best if I called the cops to the scene. I knew from my experience that that would be the best course of action in that specific situation, and...
Whatever. Your excuses aren't going to work. Not with all these people as witnesses. I'm dying to see how the higher-ups are going to react to this when they find out that you fled the scene like a coward.
Shoot! I forgot that we were supposed to submit a report. You stay here, all right?
What? Are we not going to return to HQ together?
No, you're gonna stay here while I go back to HQ to submit a report. And this is an order. Stay here and clean everything up, all right?
And after saying that, Mr. Yagamashi ran out of the building in a hurry. He's probably going to lie in the report and hide the fact that he fled from the scene by himself. But I'm not going to let him do that. I have 10 plus witnesses on my side, and we're going to make sure the truth gets out. And so, Mr. Yagamashi submitted an incident report full of lies to the higher-ups, but after conducting a thorough investigation into the matter, his lies were completely exposed. As a security guard, we're supposed to put our own safety aside and protect the people we serve. Mr. Yagamashi abandoned his post, and that's a big no-no in this industry. And so, after the truth came out, he was immediately fired from his job. No one was willing to defend him either. And apparently, Mr. Yagamashi was in a ton of debt, so he's now working a sketchy job to pay everything back. He definitely brought this upon himself, so I don't feel bad for him or anything.
I saw you on the news the other day, Paige. You saved the lives of dozens of people, right? I'm so proud of you.
Well, the news is just exaggerating what happened. And besides, I was just lucky. What I did isn't that impressive.
Oh, come on. Stop being so humble. You can be proud of yourself occasionally, you know. I bet you threw the suspect on the ground using one of your judo moves.
What? What makes you guys say that? Were you there at the scene?
Well, I think she's just guessing. I mean, you're a former judo champion after all. I can't believe that guy came at you, though. He should have known that he was doomed from the start.
Yeah, I bet he didn't know that Paige has the strength of a full-grown silverback gorilla.
What? Come on, guys, you're embarrassing me right now. You know, this is why I've never had a boyfriend before. I want to stop scaring people away with my strength.
It's all right. I'm sure you'll find someone that's right for you eventually. There's people out there that are attracted to strong women, so just try to find someone like that.
Yeah, she has a point, Paige.
You sure? Oh yeah, and I have news I wanted to share with you guys. My company is hiring me for a full-time position soon.
Really? Congratulations! That's great!
Yeah, and they're definitely to have you, Paige. I'm so proud of you.
Thanks, guys. You guys are the best. I'm gonna keep on working hard, and eventually everything will work itself out in the end, right? Hopefully, I'll be able to find a good husband in the next few years, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. My name is Paige, and I'm 32 years old. My husband, Takao, and I have been married for 6 years now, and after 6 years, we're finally having our first child in a few months. The apartment that we were living in was perfect for us two, but it was a bit too small for all three of us, so we decided to purchase a large room in a high-rise apartment building. It's always been a dream of mine to live in a high-rise apartment building, so this is amazing news for me. And there's also a preschool and grade school right by the apartment building, so it's the perfect place to raise a child. And a few days ago, we finally moved into our new room. And while exploring our new home, I said this to my husband. Wow, this place is really massive, isn't it? And the view is so nice. It almost feels like a hotel, to be honest with you. I can't believe we get to live here now.
Yeah, this place is really nice. And I love that there's schools nearby, too. Sure, this room is amazing, but we're pretty high up right now, don't you think? This is kind of scary.
That's right. You were afraid of heights, weren't you? I don't think we're that high up right now, though. I chose the third floor because I didn't want you to be scared all the time. But does the height still bother you?
Yes, it does. I feel like we're on the top of the Burj Khalifa right now. I haven't been this high up in years. If I'm being honest, I'm absolutely terrified right now. I don't think I'm gonna be able to go near the window anymore.
Don't worry. I'm sure you'll get used to it eventually. And I'm not gonna ask you to go out to the balcony to hang up our laundry, so I'm sure everything will be fine. Let's just give it some time, all right?
Okay, thanks, Paige. I really appreciate it.
That's right. My husband is afraid of heights. And when we first met, he was even scared to go up to the second floor of the building. And so, living on the third floor of this high-rise apartment building is going to be quite a challenge for him. But I'm sure we'll be able to get through it together. And he was willing to move here for our child, so I'm not going to let his courage go to waste. It's been 3 days since we moved into our new room, but we haven't used the elevator a single time yet. But I am pregnant, right? And I don't want to push myself too hard, so I guess I'll use the elevator just this one time. And so, when I walked up to the elevator hall to press the button and call the elevator, this woman came up to me and said this.
Huh? I've never seen you around here before. Are you new here? You look like you don't belong in this building, though.
Oh, I am new here. I just moved into one of the rooms on the third floor. My name is Paige. It's nice to meet you guys.
Hear that, Miss Komita? It looks like you were right about her.
Yeah, I heard of her. She said she moved into the third floor, right? That's hilarious. I can't believe she's willing to live that close to the ground. That's so embarrassing.
Yeah, I thought she said the 30th floor at first, but looks like she actually lives on the third floor.
Why is that funny? Do you have a problem with that?
Oh, sorry. No, we don't have a problem.
And we forgot to introduce ourselves, haven't we? My name is Komeda, and I live on the 37th floor of this building.
My name is Kaji, and I'm on the 29th floor. It's nice to meet you.
Miss Komeda and Miss Kaji, huh? Well, it's nice to meet both of you. They think they're better than me because they live higher up than me, don't they? Sure, the higher you get up, the more expensive the rooms get. That means that their husbands must be business owners or CEOs of some kind. But still, I can't believe they're bragging to me about which floor they live on.
By the way, are you pregnant? I noticed that your belly looks quite large.
Oh yes, I'm 8 months pregnant right now, and we're expecting our baby soon. We decided to move into this building because there's a lot of schools nearby, and we thought it would be the perfect location to raise our child. Yeah, whatever. We don't care about any of that. What we care about is you using the elevator to get up to your floor. As you know, we live on the 37th and 29th floors. We need to use the elevator to get to our rooms. So could you not use it, please? What? But I'm pregnant right now and...
This elevator can get quite crowded, especially in the mornings. We don't need people like you holding the elevator up just so you can get from here to the 3rd floor. Walking up the stairs is always an option, you know? You have to think about the other people that live in this building.
But this elevator is meant to be used by everyone in this building, right? I don't understand why you're trying to stop me from using it.
Ugh. Who do you think you are? You think you have the right to argue with us? You live on the 3rd floor, damn it. You need to listen to us and do as we say. Besides, I bet the reason you're on the 3rd floor is because you guys are poor and couldn't afford any of the rooms on the higher floors. That's why the lower floors are full of peasants like you that don't even deserve to be here. Honestly, it sickens me that you even live in this building. You should know your place.
You're kidding me, right?
No, she's right. You definitely don't belong here, and you should move out. It bothers me to know that you live under the same roof as us. We might be in the same building, but you and I are not alike at all. Keep that in mind and never forget it, all right?
And so, I couldn't use the elevator that day and had to carry all of the heavy groceries up the stairs. Miss Komeda and Miss Kaji made me take the stairs being fully aware that I was pregnant. I can't believe they would treat me this way. They're so proud of themselves just because they live on a higher floor than us. And when I got back to my room, I told my husband about what had just happened. I still can't believe they stopped me from taking the elevator. That's not just fair, is it? Who do they think they are?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I knew that stuff like this can happen in high-rise apartment buildings because the people that live in them tend to be too proud of themselves. But man, I didn't expect it to happen here.
Yeah, and besides, we pay the same amount of administrative fees every month as they do, so I don't understand why they're complaining about us using the elevator. Are they going to stop us from using the gym and the lounge on the 40th floor as well?
Yeah, what they're saying is not fair at all, and we shouldn't back down. Apparently, there's a town hall meeting meant for the residents of this building soon, so we should go and try to make some friends there.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I was planning on going as well. I'm sure there's people out there that feel the same way we do. And so, because of what happened that day, we decided to participate in the town hall meeting together and try to see if this was happening to other people as well. And when we arrived at the town hall where the meeting was taking place, we saw a massive crowd of people. Wow, there's so many people here, but looks like some of them are still standing. Why aren't they sitting down? There's seats that are still open. What's everyone doing?
You're right, but doesn't this feel a bit weird to you?
I guess. But anyway, we should go sit down. I don't think I can stand for much longer. I feel like I'm about to pass out.
Oh, sorry about that. Let's go.
This was our first time attending a meeting like this, so we didn't know what the rules were, but we figured that it'd be okay if we just found a seat for ourselves. So we found an open seat and sat down. But that's when...
Hello. My name is Masuda, and I live on the 9th floor. I've never seen you guys in this building before, but are you two new here?
Huh? Yes, we are.
We just moved into the 3rd floor 2 weeks ago. This is actually our first time participating in one of these meetings, so we're not really sure how all this works, but...
Oh, I see. Well, if you live on the 3rd floor, you can't sit in that seat.
What? Why not?
You just can't, all right? I'm standing by that wall over there, so you should come and join me, or else they're going to pick on you. and try to embarrass you guys.
What are you talking about?
This place has a lot of unwritten rules that we have to follow. For example, people that live on the 9th floor and below aren't allowed to use the elevators. And we're only allowed to use the gym on the 40th floor on certain days because the people on the higher floors don't want it to get too crowded. I didn't think that things would be this way when I first purchased my room, but I definitely should have gotten a room on the 10th floor.
Wait a minute. So you're telling me that you've been taking the stairs to get to your room every day? But you live on the 9th floor, right? That sounds like torture.
Yeah, it's not fair. You're paying the same administrative fees as everyone else. So it doesn't make sense that you're not allowed to use the elevators.
Well, I thought that they would change the rules because they were so archaic and backwards, but no matter how hard I tried, they weren't willing to budge.
That's insane. It's not fair. My husband and I were absolutely enraged when we heard about the unwritten rules of this apartment. If I had known that the community was like this, I wouldn't have bought a room in this building. And so, for the next hour or so, we stood by the wall and listened to the administrator talk about what's been going on in the apartment building. But that's when I found out that Miss Cometa was one of the people that were in charge of the administration of this building. I guess all of the other residents were too scared of her to break the rules that she had set up. That's why no one was brave or stupid enough to stand up to her. And so, the meeting was over in about an hour, and the residents of the lower floor started filtering out of the hall. But that's when Mrs. Cometa and Miss Kaji came up to me and said this.
Oh, you're Paige, right? Remember us? We met in the elevator hall a couple of days ago. What did you think about the meeting? Hopefully, it helped you understand the kind of rules we have in this building. Sure, you guys may be paying the same administrative fees as us, but that doesn't mean that you can use the amenities that this building has to offer. Got it?
Uh-huh.
And if you're not happy with the rules, you're just gonna have to climb up the social ranks and purchase a room on the higher floors. Well, I think we all know that's impossible, but, oh yeah, and you better remind all of the other people that live on your floor about our rules, alright? Alright then, see you later.
Damn it, who the hell does she think she is? And why the hell is no one willing to stand up to her? Why are they letting her walk all over them? I was obviously pissed off at the situation, but I was surprised when I saw that my husband, who is usually calm and isn't that easily bothered, was pissed off as well. Well, I'm not going to let them walk all over me. I'm going to stand up for myself and make them pay for what they've done. I'm not going to forgive you for this, you bastards. When we got back to our room, we immediately looked through our residence contract and filed a report to the owner, informing him that some of his residents in his building had been making the living experience a literal hell for others. And when the owner learned about what had been going on, he immediately started to act. And one day, he and I headed up to the 37th floor to have a conversation with Miss Cometa.
All right, we're here. You said Miss Cometa was the one orchestrating all this, right?
That's right, it's definitely her.
Okay then, let's put this up on her door and all right. We should be good to go now.
Thank you so much. Hopefully this will fix everything, but...
Yeah, I hope it does too. A lot of residents have been moving out lately, and I was wondering what was going on. None of them told me about this situation, so I'm glad you came to me for help.
And while the owner and I were talking to each other in front of her room, Miss Cometa came out of the elevator. And when she saw the piece of paper that had been taped onto her door, she seemed absolutely dumbfounded. But this is only the beginning. We're just getting started.
Huh? I don't understand. What the hell is going on? Why does it say here that our room's been sold? I never put this place up for sale, though.
Looks like she's starting to panic.
What the hell? Is this supposed to be like some kind of prank? This is your husband, right? Why are you two doing this to me? It's just because we're not letting you use the elevators? You guys are super petty, aren't you?
Huh? What are you even talking about? This isn't my husband. He's the owner of this building. You've been living here for years now, so you should know this.
What? What are you talking about?
It looked like she couldn't understand what was going on. And to be honest with you, I don't blame her. The owner of this building does look exactly like my husband.
I'm sorry to surprise you, but I am indeed the owner of this building. I'm actually twin brothers with Paige's husband. That's why we look so alike. He makes way more money than I do, but he's still afraid of heights and...
That's right, we live on the 3rd floor, but he still thinks that we're too high up. It's honestly a lot to deal with.
Wait a minute. So, the owner of this building is your brother-in-law? Is that what you're saying? And did he just say that your husband makes more money than him? How is that even possible?
Why is that so surprising? You thought we're poor just because we live on the 3rd floor? That's ridiculous.
But anyway, I heard about what you've been doing, Miss Komeda. You set up ridiculous unofficial rules and have been hosting town hall meetings without my permission, haven't you?
Well,
Some of our residents have left thanks to the ridiculous rules that you've set up. And to be honest with you, you're getting in the way of my business.
What? Come on, like you're totally overreacting. This isn't that serious.
We've contacted some of our former residents, and many of them have told me that they left because of the ridiculous rules that you set up.
What? You're joking, right?
No, I'm not. And so, we cannot afford to let you stay in this apartment building anymore. I've already talked to your husband about this, and he and I are on the same page.
No way. You're kidding me, right?
Your husband was furious when he heard about what you've been doing around here. Apparently, this isn't the first time you've done something like this, right? You pulled a similar trick at your previous apartment, too.
No! Well, yes, but it isn't what it sounds like.
But man, I'm so glad they're kicking you out. That means we're going to be able to use the gym and the elevators again. Hallelujah.
Yep, things are finally going back to normal again.
But anyway, thank you for everything, Miss Komeda, and hopefully you don't cause any trouble at your next residence.
What the hell? Why is this even happening to me?
Man, I'm so glad I can use the elevators now. This feels so nice.
Hey, why the hell are you ignoring me? You can't do this to me, you know. What is wrong with you two?
We ignored Miss Komeda and got on the elevator to head back to our room. A week later, a large truck pulled up in front of our apartment building, and Miss Komeda and her husband moved out of the apartment together. And after Miss Komeda was kicked out, Miss Kaji stopped acting all crazy as well. She eventually moved out after getting a divorce with her husband. And so now, I can freely use the elevators without anyone bothering me. I'm so glad to have some peace and quiet in my life again. And a month later, I gave birth to a beautiful baby girl.
I heard that you finally had your baby, Paige. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Miss Masuda. I was worried about how the delivery was going to be, but thanks to all the exercising I did, the baby came out quickly and smoothly.
Oh, that's great. Then maybe we have to thank Mrs. Komeda for making you take the stairs every day.
That's insane. I'm getting chills just hearing her name. But man, I still can't believe you took the stairs up to your room every day for 3 years. I don't think I'd be able to do that.
Well, I guess I just got used to it. But my husband and I have been using the elevators recently, and thanks to that, we've been gaining a little weight. So we decided that we should start taking the stairs again.
I see. That doesn't sound like a bad idea. Maybe I should do that as well. But anyway, I'm glad we're able to live our lives freely again.
Thank you for watching. What kind of crazy people will we get to see next? Stay tuned for more!